Sparks flying from blades in battle light the fire in his soul.
There is something I must finish. Fine. Come on.
Battle 1. Fight!
So we kind of knew that we were going to get at least Soul Calibur 3 with better graphics and higher res, and it's at least that. We've only got 4 of the characters in this build that we have. I don't think any of us are playing our true characters, but it's been cool because I think that's given us a reason to kind of check out some of the new characters like Hilda.
How do you like Hilda?
So far,
she plays different.
She's different.
Definitely.
And I don't think I'm that great with her yet. I was pleased that Hilda has these Balrog type moves that feel really different than what I'm used to in Soul Calibur, where you hold down either A or B or horizontal, vertical slash, and then you can let them go and immediately follow them up with whatever the button you were holding, double tapping it, and it'll do like an unblockable attack. Part of the key of playing her is going to be mastering when you should be holding down those kind of chargey, unblockable moves. But it's different and it's fun.
I struggle with balancing charging A and charging B while juggling guarding and kicking.
When Richard and I first started playing it, we thought that it was probably too powerful.
KO!
I think it's still too powerful. If you have really slow reflexes, it's really hard to parry the first move.
Right.
The second move is unblockable. It reminds me of Jason's girl, Sophia's unblockable move, which was toned down in the arcade edition in Soul Calibur 3. The speed of the unblockable, it's that move, unless it's toned down, I think it's going to be really overpowered. Really? Very.
Final battle. Fight! Ring out!
Is that all you got?
I guess hopefully, I mean, with like some of these new characters that they're bringing in, I just hope they're not clone characters and that they'll actually be new characters like Hilda.
The big change is these two like gems that are up next to names. And the way it works is that both characters, when you start the match, their gems will start out green. And then as you attack, if the other character blocks your attack, your gauge starts turning blue, which is good, and their gauge starts turning red. Once their gauge turns all the way red, you can actually break it, and at that point you can initiate the critical strike.
But you have to have your meter like fully charged up.
Calibur fatality.
Right,
And
so that's the
basically
tricky part.
And to do it, it's basically you just hit the 4 buttons right after you
break
the armor.
Right.
It's not called fatalities, is it?
It's called critical finishes.
Critical finishes, okay.
But it's basically it's a fatality.
Okay.
I just hate the comparison to Mortal Kombat because when someone says fatality, it's after you killed somebody. It's not during the fight. It's after the fight. It's sugar on top. When you do a critical finish, the life bar of the enemy can be at max, and you instantly KO him.
Yeah.
In Mortal Kombat, in order to do a fatality, the opponent's life has to be 0, not 100, not 50, 0.
I don't know, to me, they just don't feel like fulfilling. Like
It's like everyone here, it seems, at least in this build, only has one move they do. It doesn't change based on the
and you
level.
do them all the same.
Yeah.
You just hit the 4 buttons and it goes off.
In my perfect world, I wish they were distance-based so that you could actually whiff one. And I wish that they didn't pull you out of the game world. When the critical finish starts in this game, I feel like I'm out of the game. At that point, I'm watching a cutscene.
Yeah,
it's game over.
It fades in and fades
Yeah,
out.
it fades in and fades out. I wish it felt like part of the match. If I did a critical finish that was totally brutal looking or whatever, and it felt like the end of that match rather than a cutscene, then I would be much more into it. That said, I have to work to set it up, and I have to make sure that I'm not blocking, you know. Seeing the animation, totally not fulfilling, but doing it, fulfilling, at least at this point, and I really didn't think I was gonna like it.
Whereas most games, you can kind of get away with turtling. That means just blocking a lot. Now there's emphasis on attacking, because the game penalizes you if you block a lot. The inclusion of these critical finishes, it makes you change the way you play.
Well, not me, because I'm crazy and I don't really know what I'm doing.
But it
Okay, noob. Well, anyways.
It doesn't change. That's the thing, is it doesn't change the way that I play. They're built for players that play like me. I've been watching my little crystal the whole game. It never leaves blue. It never goes near red because I don't block. I just don't do it. I guard impact or I get hit. That's how I play. So for me, it's actually a benefit. When I'm playing against other people that do block, it means I have a better chance to win now, and I kind of like that.
In my experience, it's like shit.
No change allowed.
I had to change when you're killing me because I was just blocking.
Yeah.
Because then that's what I do. I block a lot.
Yeah, so there you go.
But it
You're gonna
forces
have to GI
your
more.
turtle
It forces me to dodge more. It forces me to GI, and it forces me to predict your movements more often. It's like, okay, wait, if Ryan's gonna GI, shit, I'm gonna throw him.
Hey, remember 3 years ago, I predicted that Soul Calibur needed fatalities, and you guys all laughed at me.
I thought you were goddamn crazy.
Alright, I know this might be premature because Soul Calibur IV hasn't officially launched yet, but for Soul Calibur V, you know how there's Tekken Tag? What about Soul Calibur Tag? Huh? Huh?
It's almost as dumb as putting fatalities in the game.
I don't know.
I don't know.
What do you guys think? Soul Calibur Tag. What do you guys think?
Nice try, Mikey.
Yeah.
One of the other changes that's really interesting in the game that I thought was going to change gameplay turned out to be more of a visual change, and I appreciate it because it makes the game feel next gen. And it's actually the thing that Milky asked the Soul Calibur team to include in the game a year ago when we were out visiting them. He said, wouldn't it be cool if, you could like see characters' clothes get ripped and stuff when they get hit? It's not so dynamic as that in the game, but you can knock armor off of their body in 3 different places. I just think it looks really cool.
That added stuff for realism, just immerses the players. You're like, damn, I knocked something off Mr. Rugi, and it's still on the floor, damn!
Right. And it also affects gameplay too, because once you've had one of your armor sets taken off, that part of your armor is suspect, and you take like 10% more damage than you would if you still had the armor.
There's no soul charge anymore. And what's funny about soul charge being taken out of the game is that I feel like I finally started to use it the way that it was meant to be used in Soul Calibur 3. Like, I never really used it much in 1 or 2, but by 3 I was incorporating it into my play and I thought it was making a big difference. It's weird that it's gone now because I just got used to it. Now I sort of miss it.
I never really used them, so like I didn't.
I'm sure most players won't care.
I always found soul charges to be kind of risky.
They took out the jump and the horizontal swing, which becomes a low attack.
Right. Am I wrong? It was a universal move for every
was,
character.
it was.
It's a
Everyone
universal
had it.
move.
Everyone
use
had
it.
it.
But now
to set up high-low games.
It was so awesome. I totally used it, and now it's gone.
So we have an earlier build. Is it possible that the developers could put it back in the game?
It says this is a sad song.
That's his.
Please, please. That was part of my gameplay. I can't believe they took that out.
So even though they took out some moves, they also included new moves. For example, the new GIs.
Oh yeah. The back GI
back
is
GI.
totally different now.
It sends the opponent down to the ground.
If the character's knocked on the ground, it pops right back up. You can even come straight into full guard.
Only if you hit block right at
Right.
the moment of
Yeah.
the time you fall.
Thought
But
it
Once you pop
initially.
up, though, could the opponent see that start running towards you, only to throw you after you pop up?
But the person who pops up can also initiate a throw move like instantly as well.
The person on the ground should be at a disadvantage.
They're not. At least not. I haven't noticed it so
like
far.
one thing that we were talking about when we were discussing this yesterday is like Keelik has lots of recovery moves that you
While
do
rising.
while you're.
Yeah.
They're not even while rising moves. They're different than while rising moves. They're done actually while on the ground and not rising. He's got the one I use all the time. He just does this like stick spin. And so, if I get knocked to the ground with the ground GI and I still have that move accessible, then the person that GI'd me is going to need to block low right after I do it or attack low really fast because
what about
I can
jump?
do that.
I mean, would they still be able to
They
jump?
could jump
like, right
over it
away?
as well. I don't know if it's a bad change or a good change. It's just a change, and it's one of the things that's going to make going back and playing the previous versions just a little weird for a second. Most of us seem to think that the guard impact has been given a few more frames of
I think they did. Yeah, there is a leniency.
So
Definitely.
you don't have to be quite as exact as you did before. I think they're trying to make it easier for new players to be able to hop in and learn GI. The real big change in this game, I think, is going to be the online play, and we don't have it yet, so we can't really comment on it. And I hope it's good.
Yeah.
But even if it's not, I mean, I'm gonna sound shallow like here, but it's amazingly gorgeous. It's beautiful.
definitely.
If you have an HD TV and you
Yes.
played Soul Calibur 3 on it and you played Soul Calibur 4 on it, you're not gonna want to go back. I'm playing on PS3 and it's great, and it's another reason to use the awesome Virtua Fighter sticks, which I love. So
And
it's
if you
great.
don't have the stick for 360, you have to find some on the internet.
Or you gotta mod out your controller.
Yeah.
The D-pad is just by default unacceptable.
Arcade in the
unacceptable
box,
for
pretty
me.
good. That's pretty good sticks.
Yeah.
Arcadeinthebox.com.
Did you get this for free if you promised to plug that shit?
Promoting it.
I bought it for like $170.